1,000 days of ASMR. How do I do it? Tingles with flyby. Daily ASMR videos. Hello, my tinglelings. Welcome to this Q&A video celebrating 1,000 days of ASMR in a row, which was like a month ago. But anyway, I'm gonna do a video still about that, and my computer is gonna have its fan and can at least make it mute. So we're just gonna have to persist past the fan sounds, because otherwise this video won't get done. So I am gonna do another video I'm thinking about showing like all the thumbnails from the 1,000 videos. I don't know exactly, but I'm gonna do something that's a little bit more specific to that, but I've decided now it doesn't really matter if I do it a bit later. So today we're going to be going through the questions that you all have asked me. And for some of these, I've answered them in other videos, so I'll try and refer you to those videos. So I'll put like a thumbnail here, and then we'll put a link down in the description so you can check that out to find out more about what your questions are. So first question comes from G Frame. Do you record daily videos or record in batches? And then just upload a new one each day. So on YouTube, you can schedule videos. So I do record in batches. It would be impossible to record every day. Life just happens. So I do record when I'm able to, and I'll try and record multiple videos at the same time. How do you manage your time knowing that you have the pressure of daily uploads? So with that, I do try and actually record quite a fair bit of time ahead. So right now my goal is to be about 3 months ahead, which I'm a little bit behind on that, but still I have about 2 months worth of videos other than my viewers' appreciations, and then there was one other video. So I record quite a fair bit of time ahead, so it was back in, July, August, September, I was thinking about Christmas, and then when Christmas rolls around, I'll be thinking about St. Patrick's Day, or maybe even 4th of July. Not that I really have done a video on that, but maybe we could. Does creative block stress you out, and how do you deal with it? I guess because I don't have a very specific type of video that I do all the time, so if I tried to only sit in a fantasy genre, I think creative stress would probably have a little bit more issue for me. But for me, it's like if I have, not feeling one particular type of video, usually I can shift to another type, like I've been doing this series on ASMR for particular people. So for nurses, if you're being bullied, chronic pain was obviously a big one. And so being able to kind of shift into different places or do educational content makes it so for me I can just kind of shift into a place where I feel a little bit more comfortable. Next is what caused you to move to Adelaide, and that is how me and my love got together. I'm actually going to do a sign language video about that in the new year, so hang out for that. But there's also an old video I did called My Love Story, so we'll put that there. And there we go. So go watch that one. Just like a life update from you. How is everything going? What are the things that fulfill you or make you happy in life right now? Are there any things that are currently a cause of stress in your life, and how do you overcome them? My biggest stress right now that I'm coming to the end of my second bachelor's degree, has been what I'm going to do next, which I've pretty much solved by figuring out what I'm going to do. I'm looking to probably go into research. So in Australia, the system's set up that you do a bachelor's and then you can do almost like a little mini research project for a year, and that's an honors project, and then you can go into a PhD. So that's kind of the path I'm thinking about doing. And that addresses, do you have any current or future life goals? So my PhD that I don't want to do one is basically talking about the adequacy of conservation funding, looking at it around the world and what contributes, like what factors are there that make conservation funding more adequate or less adequate, and how we can end anything actually meeting conservation goals. So keeping species from extinction, basically. Next is from the Aquagum was the one who asked about Adelaide. Rachel, she's the one who asked this last question. Now to Carrie, asking who I think is cute, that's famous. I don't really have celebrity crushes now that I'm a bit older. When I was younger, I used to like Shane West from A Walk to Remember. Me and my best friend used to kind of drool over him. Orlando Bloom. And then we had these we had this whole thing with like hot guys, so there was this one guy who had really long blonde hair, and this was the time that Lord of the Rings was coming out, who worked at Giuliano's, which was this really yummy place around the corner from her house. And so we used to call him Legolas, or we would call him Hot Guy, Giuliano's Hot Guy. And then we had Hot Guy Shelter, Hot Guy. And I'm trying to think, there was another hot guy from our high school, but I don't remember what we called him. I looked him up the other day, actually. He was completely bald now. It was very funny. Still, he's got very piercing, beautiful eyes. Next is from HK. Would you rather have a hamster-sized rhino or a rhino-sized hamster? Think of a little cute hamster-sized rhino. That'd be really cute, wouldn't it? You'd have to go with that, wouldn't you? I don't like big animals. I'm not saying I'm a fan of the megafauna extinctions, but I'm not a big fan of big animals. Next, from Glitterspun. Do you write down your vid ideas as they come to you, and do you have a process for prioritizing them? I usually do, so I have Google Sheets I use a lot for organizing my ideas, because then I can use it on my computer, on my phone, or if I just log on to a random computer, I can still access it there. So I have a video planning sheet, and that's a document that has basically the next 3 months of videos, and then I have an archive of my past maybe year and a half of videos in there as well, because I just would fill it out as I've been going along. So we always know my belly's with us. So I've had that going on for quite a while. But then I also have another sheet document called Video Ideas. And so that one I have split up into my different days and then untried ideas. I have a few different spots, and then when I get different ideas or somebody gives me a suggestion that I'm like, oh, I might want to do that, I'll put that in there. But a lot of times what ends up prioritizing what I do is just what I feel like doing at the moment. That's how we go. And then to Bexley, do you find yourself still learning to let go of any hang-ups you might have growing up in the Mormon religion? I think I've gotten through most of those. It's a little different for me because my dad was always out. So my dad left the church before I was born. And so I've always kind of had important figure in my life who wasn't in the church. So it's more kind of, I've gone from doing more like my mom to doing more like my dad, I guess, in some ways. I think I've just had that natural example of what to do in that way. So I think it hasn't been as hard for me as it might have been for someone who was raised with two Mormon parents. So, but yeah, I have pretty much gotten past most of that stuff. Next comes from I'm kind of effing stupid, but what made you want to create this channel? Were you an ASMR fan at first and then branched out into making your own videos? That's pretty much exactly what happened. I discovered ASMR and, deep dive into that. Changed my life, made me so much more chilled out and relaxed. And I wanted to explore because I thought that there was particular types of videos that I really liked, and it didn't seem like a lot of other people were making a lot of those type of videos. Particularly what you see more of now, which is great, hotel check-ins and everything like that, but maybe not as much restaurant videos as I would like. Get on that, people. I love menu readings. Everyone, please make a menu reading. And so I thought, I have lots of creative ideas. I've come up with lots of different ideas. And that's why I wanted to make a channel, was just to contribute, I guess, that way. I didn't know if I had a relaxing voice at all, so I thought more so, well, at least I can put my ideas out there, and then maybe people with better voices can go out and copy my ideas, I guess. Next comes from Savannah Love. How did you let go of sexual shame coming from such a religious background? The thing you have to understand is, as much as there is a lot of sexual shame in Mormonism, this touches on two things, which is, obviously, I told you my dad has been, always a huge part of my life. But the second one is my mom, really. That she didn't really create a lot of sexual shame. She wasn't married. Like, my parents got divorced when I was 5, and then she got remarried, but she would talk to us about, she didn't have sex outside of marriage or anything, but she definitely saw sex as something to be embraced and celebrated. So I guess I never really felt a lot of shame necessarily in that way. Next, from Elise Katie. I would love to know if you still live with your pet baby boss. Actually, I was thinking this one, Rachel. He got really sick the other day. We had to take him to the vet, and we were actually worried we were going to lose him. But we didn't, and I'm so happy. We love him so much. He's amazing. From Jack. are you ever going to do Zelda ASMR with Breath of the Wild 2 when it comes out? I still have other ideas I'd like to do with Breath of the Wild, the first one, but I probably will with the second one. It's just a bit of a logistical headache with how things are right now. So, about addressing those. From Raja Farhat, have you ever considered veganism? Funny thing is, I actually considered becoming a vegetarian for about a week when I was in high school. I actually had a crush on this boy, funnily enough, has the same name as my love right now. And he told me he was a vegetarian, so then I was thinking about whether I should be a vegetarian. And then I decided not to. So that's the closest I've ever gotten to considering it. And has anyone ever confronted you about your eyebrows or body hair in person? No, I think people have looked and commented. I can always tell when people are like, well, you know, like a partner has to say, like, oh, look at that, you know, but no one's ever said anything to me directly. Emily Easton asks, what is your real life job? I'm a student right now and hopefully going to be continuing that for a while. I also do tutoring. So I tutor Indigenous students, and I love that. It's awesome. University students, basically in the same courses that I've just taken. From For Real, do we need to write an idea for a new ASMR under the video? I don't understand what that question is. I wonder where you traveled, states and countries. There is a video on that. So there, places I've visited. I can check that out. And you're right, you can create a whole video about that. I already did. And if you play online games, then which ones? The only game I really play is Design Home. It's a little app, and I like doing that. I got it because I thought it would make cool videos, and that was like almost 2 years ago. I haven't made any videos with it, but I like it. Okay, next we come from Katsu Crazy for Life or something. Katsuki. Do you ever have periods of time where you don't feel inspired to record videos? Yep. I've talked about it before. My love has a pretty severe mental illness, so we have some pretty rough times sometimes where he's suicidal, having very rough times, and can imagine that's not the most conducive to being creative. So for me, I just try to keep recorded ahead of time, knowing those times will come, so that I just don't have to put pressure on myself when I don't feel able to. And the best thing for me is usually it's easiest for me to record in the morning because basically before his emotional stuff can get going. So I can try and ensure I have more time to record that way. Luke Grenier, what is your favorite food or drink? He also really enjoyed Hidden Gems. So for those of you who haven't seen it, here's my top 10 hidden gems. So go check out that video. I should probably make a new one because there'd be some new ones on there, but definitely go check it out. Those are like my 10 little babies that didn't do as well as that I would have liked. But my favorite food or drink, I've actually been talking about this. My biggest thing about, I love balsamic vinegar. I also really like butternut squash. Squash, not pumpkin, even though I live in Australia. But I'm not going into that. But I am somebody who, when I was a kid, this used to happen to my parents all the time. I would be eating something, I'd be going crazy over it, Lucky Charms or, something for my breakfast. And then as soon as they would be like, oh, well, why don't I buy a few boxes, they're on sale, then I would just get over it. And so we just end up with this huge supply that I would never eat. So if you've noticed in my channel, I do a variety of topics. That is my personality to the core. I love variety. There's nothing where I'm just like, oh yeah, I could just eat that forever. I'll always get tired and want to eat something else. So I have a very shifting diet. And drinks are the same as well. Next, from Jamie B. Are you able to talk about what the flyby part of your channel name means? Again, I did talk about this in another video, which we'll put here. But just the short version is, so I used to have a screen name talk, actually about the guy I was talking about earlier. So we used to chat on AOL, Instant Messenger. And he knew me by a particular name, and I found out that he was on this other forum, and so I wanted to join the forum, but I didn't want him to know it was me. And so I wanted a name that made it feel like I was just kind of passing through, so I named myself Flyby. So that's the short version. Welsh ASMR. Do you do much research, or the very topics that you do videos on just things that you already had an interest in? It really depends. So something it depends heavily. But I usually, if I'm doing any sort of so when I do map videos, explorations, that sort of thing, I generally don't do much research or preparation for that. But if I'm teaching you history or that sort of thing, regardless of how much I might think I know something, I'll usually do a little bit of research, but it can be, 10 or 15 minutes, not 3 hours. So, but I am driven by what I'm interested in, if that makes sense, obviously. But it's more so a different space than what I would necessarily have done if I didn't have an ASMR channel. It kind of drives my interest in particular ways, but it's still driven by my interest. There's a vague answer for you. Ciara R. What are your favorite things in life? The people I love. So my love, my son, my possum. I've got 3 wonderful boys in my life. I wouldn't mind getting a little girl pet sometime to balance that out, but that's fine. And then, my family, friends. That's my favorite things. Relationships are really what drive me. I don't care a lot about material things or that. All I care about just being with people I love and having a good time. 86 Paul 80. If you could do a relaxing whisper video anywhere in the world, where would you choose? Well, for anyone who's been around my channel for a long time, which I know you have, 86 Paul 80 been, this should be obvious. Antarctica. I know I'm obsessed with Antarctica, but it's very cold, so I don't know if I'd like that, but just I think it would be so cool to be down there. I do want to go sometime. It's very expensive, So, don't know. But that's where I would want to go. Erin, even though it would be probably a video that would, it would have all this beautiful scenery in it, be amazing and gorgeous, and I could show you all these things. And nobody would want to watch it because nobody shares my passion for Antarctica. I forgive you though. Erin asks me to please tell us all your time management and good habit secrets. I did do a video talking about habits. Time management. I think my biggest secret is just have the drive that my mom does. I don't have a schedule. I don't have a plan. So today I'm recording, it's 9 a.m. I'll sometimes record at 4 p.m., sometimes record at 11 p.m., 2 a.m. I'm very go with the flow. I know that's not how a lot of people are, and it doesn't work for some people, but that works for me. But my biggest thing is usually, the thing I've noticed for myself is what I choose to do when I first wake up is the biggest determiner of what sort of day I will have. So I should have a good day today because I've woken up and am recording, so I should be happy about that. And Lady Green Eyes, amazing woman, everyone go check her out. She says, I know that you are attending school at the same time as doing these daily videos. I have no idea how you've managed to accomplish all of that, Jenny. That is my question. How in the world have you managed to keep this up for 1,000 days? Okay. First thing is I had to get over myself a bit. That's the biggest thing. When I first started videos, I would record something and just think, oh, I don't know if that's good enough to go out, or that sort of thing. And I've had to really get past that, which, I mean, I'm way past that now, but it was a huge thing in the beginning to actually feel like I could just roll with what happened, and that things might not be perfect. And so people sometimes talk about, will it be quantity or quality? And for me, I feel like I am very much in my practice phase. So the more I get in front of the camera, the more comfortable I feel, the better I'm able to try and do what I'm trying to do and feel at peace with that. And so, yeah. But, I mean, the biggest thing is just to keep doing it. The other thing, I'm a very blessed person, I guess, intellectually, in that I've had friends, and I know other people where going to school can be quite a struggle for them and take a lot of time. They have to put a lot of effort in. But my mind just seems to retain information pretty easily. I don't have, perfect recall or anything like that. But I learn quickly and well. So even though I've been at school, I have a lot of time for other things. That's why it works well for me. Rosie is asking, how am I able to stay so disciplined and releasing at 9 p.m. every day? I assume you're in the central time zone in the US, Rosie, since it's 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. YouTube scheduling. I can upload that video 3 months before you see it, and I don't have to worry. It'll go out. Papa Boo asks, what's my favorite vacation? It would have to be either eloping to bury my love in New Zealand Iceland for our 5-year anniversary, and then went to the Hobbit Holes, and that's Hobbit Feast. That Hobbit Feast is one of the best experiences of my life. Everyone should do it. Whatever is True ASMR asks, if you could have a career in anything, what would it be? You've probably gotten the idea that my personality is very varied. So my biggest thing is I would like something that is fresh, interesting, uses innovation and creativity, and allows me a lot of time with the people I love. So you guys can tell me what that should be. LSU Chick 420. What are your favorite books and or movies? One of my favorite books is The Little Prince. On my mind recently because I saw a Braille version. Speaking of which, I want to do a video on Braille, but I wanted to get a Braille book, but the Braille book is like 250 euros, but it looks so cool. But yeah, that's probably not that high on the priority list. Movies, I do love Lord of the Rings. I think they're great movies. Casey MMB, do you have any pets? Yep, I have a pet possum. You can go see him right there. Okay, Decaf Math ASMR. What are some things that make you smile? All of your comments usually make me smile. I love responding to comments. What is something that us viewers wouldn't otherwise know about your recording space? I am in a walk-in closet, so I can touch this wall and the other wall at the same time. So we're working in a very small space. Leonardo Lima, which countries would you like to visit? Not a country, but a continent. Antarctica, that's where I want to go. Ryan Daffin, what made you learn sign language? I made friends with this guy who was learning sign language, and it struck fire through my friends group in college, so we all learned sign language, and it was great. And then, what was your favorite subject in school? Which one didn't you like? I like school. I find everything interesting. I didn't like syntax, but I think that was just the teacher. I didn't like the way he taught. I still think syntax is interesting when I did my linguistics degree. Veronica Jenska, do you have a boyfriend or husband? Refer you to our earlier referral to my love story. Shiver Me Tingles asks, how do you like your coffee? I like my coffee cup empty. I don't like coffee. It tastes burnt to me. They also ask, what's your zodiac sign? I am a Pisces. March 5th is my birthday. Alex R. has 4 questions for us. Where do you get your ideas from? Everywhere. Literally everywhere. All the time my mind is ticking away, and then I'll be like, ooh, that could be an idea for a video. So I get more ideas for videos than I can do. Which seems crazy because I do a daily video, but it is 100% true. What microphone do you use? We're using the Zoom H1. Just a simple Zoom H1. What got you interested in the ASMR community? ASMR being awesome. It feels great. And as soon as I knew it existed, I loved it. Do you have a job outside YouTube? Better because I don't get very much money from YouTube. I'm a student. I get a stipend. I get a study payment from the government right now for being a student. And then I'll hopefully get scholarship when I do my PhD. But next year when I'm doing my honors, it's going to be not much money coming in. But I need to do well in order to then get my stipend for my PhD. So, and then I did a second post, so we just gotta find the last questions. TV Novo Horizonte asks, what are your favorite ASMRtists? Lady Green Eyes is my go-to right now because she's uploading, but she's probably tied for first with Whispers in Bloom, who hasn't uploaded much lately, but near and dear to my heart. If you haven't watched her, you should check her out. She's amazing. A blend of fantasy and ASMR. It's wonderful. Do I have an Instagram? I do, that I don't really use. At Tingles with Flyby, I think. Nathan asks, why are your videos so awesome? Well, because they come from me? No, I don't know. I'll let you guys answer that. Why are my videos so awesome? Are they? And then 2 questions from Sajin. What's my first name? It's Jenny, Jennie. And which software do you use to prepare daily ASMR videos? I use Adobe Premiere Pro. So we got through all of the questions. Thank you all so much. It's been a blast answering these questions. It's been a blast having you for 1,000 days of ASMR, or at some point you joining me along that journey. And here's to another 1,000 days with my empty glass of air. You can just imagine that's my coffee.